power is given only to those who dare to lower themselves and pick it up. Only one thing matters. One thing: to be able to dare. To live without hope is to cease to live. We sometimes encounter people, even perfect strangers, who begin to interest us at first sight, somehow, suddenly, all at once, before a word has been spoken. Beauty is mysterious as well as terrible. God and devil are fighting there, and the battlefield is the heart of man. Sarcasm, the last refuge of modest and chaste-souled people when the privacy of their soul is coarsely and intrusively invaded. If there is no God, everything is permitted. The greatest happiness is to know the source of unhappiness. The cleverest of all, in my opinion, is the man who calls himself a fool at least once a month. The soul is healed by being with children. To love someone means to see him as God intended him. Happiness does not lie in happiness, but in the achievement of it. It is not possible to eat me without insisting that I sing praises of my devourer. The real gentleman, even if he loses everything he owns, must show no emotion. Money must be so far beneath the gentleman that it is hardly worth troubling about. Deprived of meaningful work, men and women lose their reason for existence. They go stark, raving mad. Much unhappiness has come into the world because of bewilderment and things left unsaid. One can know a man from his laugh, and if you like a man's laugh before you know anything of him, you may confidently say that he is a good man. Realists do not fear the results of their study. The formula 2 and 2 make 5 is not without its attractions. There is no subject so old that something new cannot be said about it. Man only likes to count his troubles, but he does not count his joys. Man is fond of counting his troubles, but he does not count his joys. If he counted them up as he ought to, he would see that every lot has enough happiness provided for it. There are things which a man is afraid to tell even to himself, and every decent man has a number of such things stored away in his mind. It seems, in fact, as though the second half of a man's life is made up of nothing but the habits he has accumulated during the first half. If you were to destroy the belief in immortality in mankind, not only love but every living force on which the continuation of all life in the world depended, would dry up at once. A novel is a work of poetry. In order to write it, one must have tranquility of spirit and of impression. Man, so long as he remains free, has no more constant and agonizing anxiety than find as quickly as possible someone to worship. When there is love, you can live even without happiness. But to fall in love does not mean to love. one can fall in love and still hate. The more I love humanity in general, the less I love man in particular. Above all, don't lie to yourself. The man who lies to himself and listens to his own lie comes to a point that he cannot distinguish the truth within him or around him, and so loses all respect for himself and for others. And having no respect, he ceases to lie. Man is sometimes extraordinarily, passionately in love with suffering. Pain and suffering are always inevitable for a large intelligence and a deep heart. It is better to be unhappy and note the worst, than to be happy in a fool's paradise. There is only one thing that I dread, not to be worthy of my sufferings. Sorrow compressed my heart, and I felt I would die, and then, well, then I woke up. What is hell? I maintain that it is the suffering of being unable to lie. But how could you live and have no story to tell? To go wrong in one's own way is better than to go right in someone else's. The darker the night, the brighter the stars. I say let the world go to hell, but I should always have my key. It takes something more than intelligence to act intelligently. Taking a new step, uttering a new word, is what people fear most. Right or wrong, it's very pleasant to break something from time to time. Nothing in this world is harder than speaking the truth, nothing easier than flattery. I swear to you, gentlemen, that to be overly conscious is a sickness, the real, thorough sickness. To go wrong in one's own way is better than to go right in someone else's. I can't see the sun, but even if I cannot see the sun, I know that it exists. And to know that the sun is there, that is living. It is not the brain that matters most, but that which guides them, the character, the heart, generous qualities, progressive ideas.